The following is a conversation between Matías De Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am. The date is February 14th, 2021, and the subject is the emotional aspect of the solar plexus in the sign of Aquarius. Me. If there is a synonym for love, it is Cancer. It is painful that in turn it is the word for one of the most horrible diseases. I am. It is still one of the great paradoxes. Cancer means crab, from the Greek karkinos, which in turn comes from the Indo-European kar, meaning hard. Thus, casing refers to a shell that covers, protects. The crab, river, and sea represents that shell that contains the soft, that protects or subtle within the emotional waters, and that defends with its claws that which is tender inside. The disease was so named by the Greeks themselves, who identified tumors as soft and sensitive growths or casings that surrounded organs. It is a semantic and etymological question that does not have a direct relationship in its meaning, even if they sound the same. Me. Unless we want to see the negative side of Cancer. I am. Well, we'll get to it. But at first, it is important to make this distinction. The crab is the physical aspect of the water trinity, to which we will relate today to the solar plexus. Me. Emotional center par excellence. I am. Anchor of all the strength of the personality and its links, the exchange of information in each relationship, both positive and negative. Cancer is the tropical constellation that affects the world during the beginning of the northern summer and the southern winter. But as always, we will refer to the subconscious vision generated by the north, since these terms were coined there. Summer is a time of interaction, of going out into the world. Coming from the energy of Gemini, the time of communication has begun, of relating to other peoples. But there is a key by which this is done, for the survival of the family. The exchanges of food and various products were carried out during this time in greater quantity, to distribute the first products or exchange the seeds and animals necessary for the rest of the productive season. Beyond the fact that many migrated by land from one town to another, carrying the weight of the products was very complicated in carts or donkeys, so the best way to do it was by boat. The ships set sail at this time and made trips for long periods throughout the Mediterranean and the main rivers. And if someone decorated the ships when they were still, and the rocks of the ports, it was the crabs. They were a symbol of navigation, as well as representing the shield of a ship, the blade and the frame, which floats, protecting the fragile inside. Crabs represented protection for travelers and resources for their families. The crab was the symbol of the port, and therefore the representation of the house, the home, where they should return. The crab armor symbolized the protection of the inhabitants and taking care of them from invasions. In the port, the sailors were greeted by their families, standing on the rock crabs, reminding them that they had to return safely and that beyond the distance, everyone would always stay together, joined. Me. That's why Cancer is related to the family and its ties. Again, the symbol of the heavens has nothing to do with the stars, but with what humans live, and so they name the stars. The time of the crab has come, that is, the moment when the stars say, we must navigate and protect families with defense and resources. I am. This generated in the subconscious the idea that the crab is the love of the family, protecting it, giving it what it needs. It is a water sign and therefore it is emotional. It represents the body of the Trinity because it speaks of the house, of the individuals that make up the family group, of the home that they make together. He talks about the resources necessary to keep them together: nutrition, rest, and love. all three transcending the most bullfighting basic needs: eating, sleeping, and reproducing. Cancer is the archetype of maternal love, of those who care for, embrace, protect, and nurture their children with love, like the port that gives food and embraces the peoples, protecting them from the sea. I know that you usually associate Cancer with love, but it is necessary to specify which one, because while Pisces is unconditional love, Cancer is conditional love. This means that for Cancer there are limits to what he loves, and the limits reach friends for whom he takes as children or family, but to whom he will place conditions in his love, because for Cancer each one fulfills an essential role in the family. Cancer energy is that port or home where you feel protected, where you know you will have everything you need, but it has taken care of you so much that when you leave it, you'll be afraid, you'll feel unprotected, and the Cancerian voice will say, "You I warned that it was better to not stray too far from me." Me, attachment. I am. The home of Cancer will seek to protect its children, depriving them of their own tools. Me, like when mom says, "Let's do it, I'll do it." I am. Exactly. Cancer considers that he can not only handle everything, but that he must do it for his own, take on the burden of the group, since everything falls on him. Thus, he sticks to reality, thinking that it is the only way, doing it, and he does it to maintain, to hold on. For this reason, it is conditional love, since it manifests a condition to all the agents around it, a reciprocity of duty, which for Cancer is emotional. Rivers, lakes, seas are the groups of water, the families that are united by the flow of emotional energy. Emotion comes from the verb to move and the prefix ex, which would mean action of moving from a place. So you can understand emotion is a specific intention, that is, intention, motive, purpose, interest, which, since Pisces is dispersed, and from Cancer it is concrete, like a river or lake that has a specific direction and outlet. There is his condition, returning to his love, interested in his own. Me, could this be taken as a jealous love? I am. The word jealous comes from zelos in Greek, which means tremendous desire for something, related to the heat that arouses interest in something or someone. Jealousy demonstrates the interest of a directed emotion, of a love channeled in a specific direction, which, if not reciprocated, can wreak havoc. All humans have this Cancer attribute in their being, and it is this attribute that can become a defect if said intention invades unexpected spaces. This is where you can relate the sign to the disease. Me. I once wrote that love is like oxygen, a poisonous gas that we adapt to use in order to live, breathing it, but that with each breath it oxidizes our cells, consuming them until it slowly corrodes and kills us. However, without oxygen we can die in a matter of minutes. We need to breathe that poison from the atmosphere to live at least 80 or 90 years. So it is how we live life. We need love to feel alive, to relate, otherwise nothing makes sense and the body is left to die. It always seemed fascinating to me to know this. I am. That oxygen is a slow-reacting poison. That's right. The same happens with love, because reality was made to transform, and everything that is conditioned in patterns must one day be broken to create something new. That is why conditional love is not something lasting, but perishable. For this reason, attachment is harmful for those who seek to transcend to higher levels of consciousness. For this reason, jealousy speaks of our state of possessiveness and animal state. The word animal and emotion have the same root, since both mean movement. Love is movement, and from consciousness it expands, creating and transcending, while from unconsciousness it is destined to break, to hurt. Me, hence, Cancer is recognized for his ease of crying, for being easily affected by all times of positive and negative emotion, experiencing everything as a loss. I am. Well, you could say that it is an archetype that finds it difficult to let go of the idea of what it has come to contain. Crying is a way of mourning what is released, and what is perceived as one's own and is not. Tears are medicine, and for this reason the eyes and face were designed so that your drops fall directly into your mouth when you cry. Me, are you saying that it is good to drink our own tears? I am, always. The geometric composition of the water of tears has all the necessary codes to re-establish internal harmony. Crying is medicine in every way because it liberates and nourishes. Those who can't cry hardly feed their own being, feed their own home. It is necessary to cry, and Cancer reminds you that the course of the water in your eyes has a clear objective. Me, give us love. I am. Allow the flow to continue. In a way, Cancer can become a disease that slowly clings to life, like cancer cells that are unwilling to let go. Most programmed to die, deny said gene, and seek to cling to everything to continue living. In this way, a tumor is composed, which drags the whole body with it. It is what you see through lives, the karma of families, who inherit the same patterns over and over again, following the exact same story, for trying to survive beyond time. And yet, this archetype reminds us that we are all one family, to which we all inevitably return, since the foundation of our human species is the love we feel for one another. Love between individuals is the key to the survival of our species. It is the key to life, relationships, births, sharing, every culture, art, history, myth, poetry, religion, philosophy, science, is the love for things, for feeling, discovering, and above all, sharing. Cancer love is like the oxygen you breathe, and the one you drink is air and water. You exist for the family. You live for it. You suffer for it. You feed on it. You laugh and feel for it. And when you fall in love, you form a new family, for which you will do everything to keep it safe in the maternal arms of your love. Me. Clearly, the Cancer pattern is the one that every human being must transcend to live in the age of Aquarius, since we tend to defend our own, form groups, love some and hate others, submerged in a sea of emotions conditioned by expectations. It will be difficult. I am. Knowing this doesn't mean you have to do it or get over it now. The important thing is to recognize it. Learning how an airplane flies does not require you to become a pilot. Me. Wow. I like that example. Clear. It is that sometimes we believe that we have to do everything when we begin to understand it. But it is not necessary. Someone explaining to me what it's like doesn't require me to learn how to handle it right now or do everything in this life. I am. Cancer was the basis of the survival of the human group for 1,000,000 years. Do you think that in one life you will achieve it? This archetype does not imply an individual, but a group of cells called humanity. This is a process of an entire existence, and it will end when humanity ends. There is no rush. Before wanting to transcend family, you must learn to love it. Me. I know. I must learn to love her as she is. I am. Do you agree to be faithful to her, love her and respect her in sickness and in health, in adversity and prosperity, all the days of your life? Me. Yes, well, I recognize that the family is me, that humanity is me, that the earth is me, and thus I am faithful to myself. I love myself. I respect myself. I am. Happy True Love Day.